Give your title an echoed effect using the Rectangular Marquee tool and a stroke. This video is being filmed in expert mode of Photoshop Elements, but the instructions are exactly the same for Photoshop except where noted. Here's an image of what we will be creating together. I'm going to show you how to create the title echoes that you see in this finished image. I have begun by creating a new 12 by 12 inch document at 300 pixels per inch with a white background. Press the letter D to reset the color chips to the default of black over white. Next, get the horizontal type tool and in the tool options, open the font picker and choose a sans serif font. If you'd like to follow along exactly, I'm using Impact Regular. Set the size to 100, the leading to auto, and the tracking to 0. Photoshop users, please refer to the manual. Click on the center alignment icon, click on the color chip and choose the color black. It's important to note that using a font size between 90 to 125 will work best on this tutorial depending on the font that you're working with. Let's talk about what fonts to use. For the title echo effect to work best, you'll want to choose a sans serif font or a font that is bold or chunky. You wouldn't want to use a thin font or a script font, and you wouldn't want to use a font that's italicized. Now that we have talked about what size is best and what fonts will work best, it's time we talk about tracking and when to adjust it. Tracking is the amount of space between letters. Some fonts are designed with more space between each letter. If the font that you are using has too much space between the letters, this tutorial will work best if you reduce the tracking. Make sure not to reduce the tracking so much, though, that the letters overlap. Now, on the document, click once in the center of the document to place your cursor. Type a word in all capitals. I'm using the word shine. Click the check mark to commit the type. Uppercase letters work best for this tutorial because all the letters will be the same height. Next, let's center the title. Get the Move tool, and in the tool options, Auto Select should be unchecked. Press Ctrl-A, Command-A on a Mac to select the entire document, and in the tool options, click on the Align Horizontal Centers, that's the middle, and the Align Vertical Centers, the center icon, and then press Ctrl-D or Command-D to deselect. In the Layers panel, lower the opacity of the type layer to 50%. Reducing the opacity of the type layer will allow us to see the stroke outline clearly. Now we're going to create a selection outline. In the Layers panel, hold down the Control key, Command key on a Mac, and click on the thumbnail of the type layer to get a selection outline. In the Layers panel, click on the Create a New Layer icon. In the menu bar, choose Edit, Stroke Outline Selection. Photoshop users choose Edit Stroke. In the dialog box, set the width to 10 pixels. Click on the color chip and choose the color black, and then click OK. Set the location to inside, the mode to normal, and the opacity to 100%. Uncheck Preserve Transparency, and then click OK to close the dialog box. Press Ctrl-D or Command-D on a Mac to deselect. In the Layers panel, double-click directly on the name of the new layer and rename it Echo Bottom. Press Enter or Return to commit that change. Our next step is going to be to divide the stroke outline. The Echo Bottom layer should still be the active layer, but if it's not, make it the active layer now. Get the Rectangular Marquee tool, and in the tool options, click on the new selection icon, set the feather to 0, and the aspect to fixed size. Photoshop users set the style to fixed size. Set the width to 12 inches and the height to 6 inches. On the document, click and drag a selection all the way to the top of the document. Press Shift-Control-J, Shift-Command-J on a Mac to cut the selected pixels to a new layer. In the Layers panel, double-click directly on the name of the new layer and rename it Echo Top. Press Enter or Return to commit the change. Now we are going to move and duplicate the stroked outline layers. Get the Move tool, and on the document hold down the Shift key and click and drag the top echo up until it's positioned slightly above the solid title. Make sure to leave a small gap between the solid title and the top echo. Use the arrow keys to nudge it up or down as needed. Holding down the Shift key while clicking and dragging ensures that the item maintains the horizontal or vertical position. In the Layers panel, lower the opacity of the echo top layer to 50%. Next, on the document, hold down the Shift option on a Mac and click and drag a copy of the top echo up until it's positioned slightly above the first top echo. Make sure to leave a small gap between the two top echoes. Holding down the Alt key, Option key on a Mac, while clicking and dragging will duplicate the layer. Holding down the Shift option on a Mac together will create a duplicate and maintain the horizontal or vertical position of the duplicated layer. Use the arrow keys to nudge it up or down as needed. In the Layers panel, lower the opacity of the duplicate echo top layer to 20%. In the Layers panel, click on the echo bottom layer to activate it. On the document, hold down the Shift key and click and drag the bottom echo down until it's positioned slightly below the solid title. Make sure to leave a small gap between the solid title and the bottom echo. Use the arrow keys to nudge it up or down as needed. In the Layers panel, lower the opacity of the echo bottom layer to 50%. On the document, hold down the Shift option on a Mac and click and drag a copy of the bottom echo down until it's positioned slightly below the first bottom echo. Make sure to leave a small gap between the two bottom echoes and use the arrow keys to nudge it up or down as needed. In the Layers panel, lower the opacity of the duplicate echo bottom layer to 20%. In the Layers panel, activate the original type layer and increase the opacity to 100%. Lastly, you'll want to finish your project as you desire and save the document as a layered PSD file with a unique name. Here's what my page looks like after recoloring the layers of the title. For help doing that, please refer to the manual. The echo defect was the perfect touch for the title of this card. It was just what I needed for a recent baby shower that I attended. For a free PDF version of this video, click on the download link and then make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This has been Gina Harper from Digital Scrapper, the very best place on the web to find complete and professional instruction for digital scrapbooking. We help you get your stories told.